So in this next series of videos, I'm going to show you how I put the decal wrap on this 1980 CJ5 Jeep. I used a 48 inch by 26 foot roll and cut it to size. The pattern is called God's Country Late Season. It's made by Gregory's Incorporated, Buhler, Kansas. You can look them up on the web. They have a lot of different patterns. It's positional cast vinyl. And so hopefully by the time you get done watching all these different videos, you too can put this on your Jeep. I'm going to wrap this hood. Now the problem is I was thinking I could go all the way across and wrap that all the way across in one piece and then come across and wrap in the front. But the decal, this direction, it's less than 3 feet. But across the hood, I'm going to have to cut about 6.5 feet. Well, if I do that, then all my tree limbs are running this way, but on the Jeep they're running this way. So in order to keep everything running in the same direction, I've had to do this a little differently, and I'm going to have to lay it down in a couple pieces. But you're going to see that you can hide a splice is literally invisible if you do it correctly, and I'll show you how to do it. So these tree limbs here, they're all running vertical. And so if I would have left that in a 6 foot length, then on the hood my tree limbs would have been running the opposite. So that's the reason I'm going to have to do things a little differently. So I put the hood on the Jeep and kind of matched up these tree limbs on this side with the fender. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to put a piece of tape out here in the middle and just like this. And I'm going to put down this part first, and that's going to anchor it. So let's do that. You know, it's easier to do it with two people. My son, he stopped by, him and his wife helped me on one of the fenders. But if you're like me, you're usually alone, so you figure out how to do it alone. All right, so I've got that cut. And alone, you can't hardly handle anything bigger than 24 inches. And remember, this is positional, so I'm just going to put it down lightly. And if I have to, I can pull it back up. I'm just getting it down here. I left enough to wrap around the front. Now I've got to go around that edge. There's kind of a lip there. That laid in there pretty nice. All right, so now I'm anchored. So I'll show you what to do with this other piece. If I pull it clear off, I'm not going to be able to manage it. So I'll show you what you do. So what I'm going to do is use this roll right here so I can manage this piece of decal. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pull back some to lay down, probably about that much, and then I'm going to cut this off. Now I'm going to take this piece, I'm going to roll that up. Now you have something rigid to hold on to lay this out. See, if I didn't have that roll in there, I'd have this big old flopping mess. And so and just work it down. There's no big hurry. Just you're trying to get it down without wrinkles and air bubbles. And remember, you can pull it up until you squeeze it down tight, put a little heat to it, you can pull it up. So now I'm at this ridge line. Gonna have to go over that. And then just, I got over that. See how this roll helps? Having all this extra decal out here on a roll. It's just big enough that it's difficult to handle. So here we go. You want to watch your contours. See, this would be, this is where you're, like this, that's where your hinge is at. Okay, so going on down, this is a gradual enough slope that I don't think it's going to give me any trouble. Oh yeah, it's gonna slide right around there. Okay, time to pull the rest of that paper off. This is going to be kind of a big piece. You know, just take your time, work it out. Remember, you can pull it back up if you need to. If it touches down, it doesn't matter. It's positional. Right there, I got a little spot, so I'm going to pull it back up. Work it out, work it down. Just keep going. You know, you can kind of pull on it. It'll stretch a little. It'll stretch a lot if you put heat to it, but I don't like to put heat to it unless I have to. Gonna pull it back just a little bit, get that down. See how I pulled that back? Now I'm going to put a little bit of stretch to it right here. We're coming right on down. This is where it'd be handy to have a partner, because they could tug on it for you and kind of help you out, but I rarely ever have that luxury. Okay, so we've determined that this is where I want to be. So I'm just going to put a reference down so I kind of know where I want to cut.